So, went ahead, took on everybody, beat them at least 5 times. I was gonna go ahead and beat him again, but
It's time to do.
so I figured instead of just me sitting around facing a bunch of duelists 100 billion times, that fuck it, I want new cards already. So I just went ahead and used cheat codes to get all the cards. It's the only cheat code I use, I promise, but I felt like there was no point in me just facing these guys over and over again, just getting shitty cards. So I'm just gonna move on ahead, and we're gonna take on Rare Hunter, which is part of the 3rd tier of duelists, which is themed against Merrick and his goons. As you can see here, we got Rare Hunter, Arcana, Loomis, and what's his face, Umbra, Merrick himself, and Strings. And we also had to take on Arcana in one of the weekend tournaments, so that's why he already has 1 win on him. But we're still going to take him on twice. As you can see, this is the Rare Hunter that took on Joey, and was also Yami's, or I guess I should say Yugi's, first opponent in Battle City, and he uses an Exodia deck. Spoiler alert. Too late for that. But yeah, as you can see, I've changed the little border around. Decided to add a new little gimmick. Since last time we added a border around the video just to make it look a bit different. This time I've decided that instead of using the same old deck that I've been using the entire time, since I have all the cards unlocked already, I'm just gonna make different decks every time I take on opponents. So we have a bunch of different decks here. As you can see, this deck is actually a, I guess, female-themed deck, which I'm using only female cards, basically. Cards that you can visually see that they are female. So I have a bunch of random-ass cards here. I even have a fusion, because I've noticed I haven't done a fusion ever, so we have Warrior 5th edition here, because she managed to be one of the, I think maybe the only fusion card that I can use that fits the guidelines of being, female. Or rather, the fusion itself is female, and also the components or the fusion monsters, or however you want to say it, are also female, which are Sonic Maid and oh, beautiful Headhuntress. So we have here basically a warrior female deck. Yeah, this is why we have Sword of Dragon Soul. Because there are a lot of female cards naturally in this game, or cards that you count as female. Female's not an actual type. But I decided to go for warriors, since that seems to have a good amount of them, and it's also the most useful, I guess. Naturally, it's not pure warriors, because you see I have the Dark Elf and I was gonna say Mystical Space Typhoon. Magician of Faith. So, you can obviously tell that this guy is just gonna play uber defensive. God damn it, man! Come on, uber defensively. That's our ace, I guess, more or less. We have Cosmo Queen. I don't really have anything in my graveyard to bring back from Mystical Elf, so Mystical Elf with Magician of Faith. So we're just gonna go ahead and use not use the effect. God, blanked out for a second. Sorry about that. As much as I want to summon Cosmo Queen. Yeah, this guy's deck is based around just using monsters in defense mode and then using cards to draw. For example, we saw a Skella Angel there, which lets him draw a card when it's destroyed, or rather when it flips up. He already used Pot of Greed, his Big Eye that allows him to switch the order of his card, the top 5 cards on the deck in any order that he likes. So his deck is geared along trying to use, or rather trying to obtain Exodia to the best of his ability. I'm using Swords of Revealing Light because in this game it doesn't have the correction which, well, Swords of Revealing Light naturally, what it does is your opponent can attack for 2 turns, and also you can also flip all his face down monster cards into face up. But later on, there's a correction that makes it so effect monsters effects, or rather flip effects, aren't activated. Like, it blatantly says it on the card. But In the early stages of the game, it doesn't say that, and so they didn't change it until later on. So, but it doesn't matter because we took on, or rather, we weren't taking him on. We beat Rare Hunter, which his name is just Rare Hunter, which is pretty funny. Because some of the text when you talk to some of the guys, they didn't translate it all too well. So, excuse me. Sometimes they'll say ghouls instead, or the ghouls, or whatever. And that refers to what rare hunters are called in the original, or in the Japanese version of the series, or whatever. They're called the ghouls or ghouls. So sometimes the game will just randomly say that, but they have a guy named Rare Hunter. But I don't think they ever explicitly say, hey, we're Rare Hunters. I think it's just that one guy that's called Rare Hunter. So that's kind of odd that they decided to go that route. I don't really like using beautiful Headhuntress, even though she's one of our more or less best cards, because she has good, decent attack, but I don't like using her because I don't like losing her. Because then Sonic Maid is useless, because she only has 1200 attack, and then Polymerization would be useless if I don't have beautiful Headhuntress. So, of course, he's gonna use dumbass. Yeah, this game isn't very smart sometimes. Obviously, the smarter play would have been to use Cannon Soldier to tribute Sangan, use Sangan's effect to get a card, and also inflict 500 points of damage. But instead, he did the opposite, which this game does sometimes a lot when they summon Cannon Soldier. That's his only means of attack, basically, is to use Cannon Soldier to inflict damage to us. He doesn't really have anything. I think he might have Bacharo the Butcher, or whatever that card is. That might be the only card he really has, but his deck is extremely defensive. He has no means of actually inflicting damage aside from Cannon Soldier. So, it's whatever. I have this random ass little card. Funny story. The reason I added that card is, which was really tough because I was whittling down my deck. Because usually what I do is I go through the whole deck list and I'll add 3 of all the cards that I want to use, and then I'll just narrow it down from there. But the reason I wanted to add this card was because I used to duel my friend a lot, and we would constantly duel back and forth. But it was always, he plays like really hyper offensively, and it would always end up to the point that he would like, you know, go all out. I would be down by like a bajillion life points. I'd only have 100, and then somehow miraculously I would, you know, believe in the heart of the cards and draw, you know, a bunch of good cards, and then I would come back in the duel and win. And it got to the point where that happened like 4-5 times in a row, and he just got really annoyed about it. He's like, fuck you, man, what the fuck? So he decided to make his own deck, which was great, because at the time I used to help everyone make their decks. So the fact that he decided to make his own deck was really exciting for me, because I was really happy that, you know, everybody was getting into the game, and, you know, he made his own deck and whatnot. And one of the cards in the deck was that card, just so that he can get rid of a little bit of my life points. And it was like an odd deck. It was like a wind sort of deck. But it actually worked out really well, because he actually managed to beat my deck at the time with his deck, with, you know, those cards that he had, which weren't even like, you know, the greatest cards. They were just some cards that he put together, and it worked out perfectly. So that was one of my most favorite experiences with the game. But yeah, I really wanted to use Performance of the Sword, so I'm probably going to use her in the next duel, but I had to discard her. But it doesn't matter, because we have an onslaught of monsters here. We're going to take down all of his little defense monsters. That's fine. He has Graceful Charity, which he can use next turn. But hopefully we won't have a next turn if Princess Tsukuyuguri. Nope, she cannot. I was hoping she could take down his monster, but she couldn't. So we're not going to be able to... I don't even think we would have been able to finish it off in this turn. But that's fine. We'll at least do a good amount of damage. We have here beautiful Headhuntress. I shouldn't have selected her. I don't know why I selected that one. Oh, never mind. They both have... Oh, right, because I have Aqua Chorus. Never mind. I thought I had an Equip Trap. onto her that boosted her attack, but no, I have Aqua Core, so that's why. Never mind, it's fine, it's fine. No, even if I had managed to defeat her monster with my princess, he'd still have 700 attack, so it's fine. Hopefully, he wouldn't have been able to draw YuGiOh, because I'm gonna go ahead and negate that. But hopefully he wouldn't have been able to, because I didn't really want to use my life points. But at the same time, it doesn't matter, does it? Because this guy is not like he's gonna attack us or anything. So we're gonna boost our beautiful Headhuntress a little bit more. Conveniently, just the right amount to take him down. But we're just gonna, you know, scratch him down a bit more. And then we'll finish him off with our souped up beautiful Headhuntress. And just like that, we've taken down Rare Hunter in his useless Exodia deck. Hope you like the fact that I'm using new decks. I'm gonna try and do that every time I face a new opponent. I just make up a new deck just to spice things up. And see you soon. It's the Wandering Doom.